25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We went to Disney World on New Year's. There were a lot of kids in Disney World. It's a kids' place, isn't it, Rob?
A lot. Yes, it is.
And you know what? I didn't see too many kids with those handheld devices, which was kind of refreshing, wasn't it?
It was very refreshing.
Kind of refreshing. However, there was a time we went to donate blood, and on the bloodmobile, there was a child waiting for his mom to donate blood, and the child was occupied with a handheld device. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't have any problem with it, but I did wonder how they work, how is it different for a child holding such a device, and all that. Janice Taylor is on the phone. She's a social entrepreneur. If you're looking at the podcast, you see the word Mazu. We're going to find out what Mazu is. Janice is an inspirational speaker, an online safety advocate, the founder of Mazu. And so she's going to explain that and tell us how to end trolling and cyberbullying and how parents can teach their children how to use digital media appropriately and not become addicted at the same time. Janice, good morning, Janice. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Canada, so it's slightly colder here than probably where you are. I'm actually calling from British Columbia, Canada.
Oh my gosh! So you got up really early, and it's a little bit cold out there compared to here. It's nice here, beautiful. I'm gonna rub it in a little bit.
Okay, well, it's a lot of snow here, so we've already shoveled this morning, if you can imagine, to try to get out of the driveway.
Oh man! So, in a way, I'm jealous of that. I want to be there. So tell me what Mazu is. What is Mazu?
Mazu is a content messaging platform that is really about family engagement and how we connect with our children. We created an entire safety profile around that, meaning there is security controls, filtering language and content, but more importantly, I wanted as a parent to really engage with my child and teach her core values within what we would call a digital village.
Okay, and now is it communicating with other people, or is it playing games, or both, or none of that?
It's none of that, actually. It's more about connecting with you and your family. I call it my phone in the kitchen, and I'm going to totally date myself, but remember the old days where you had one phone in the kitchen and there was a cord and you try to really extend it away from your family? So that's kind of the response to that, as well as what we take in terms of content, like the Disney Channel. And I noticed in the internet and the Vortex that children disappeared into these spaces and we didn't know what they were watching, let alone being able to teach them.
So how does it manifest? Is it a program on your computer, on your Kindle, or your tablet? How do you use this?
It's actually an app, so you can download it onto your phone or into an iPad, and it functions a lot like Instagram or say WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. What is the age group that you're aiming it at?
Our age group is between 6 and 12 or 6 and 13, including parents and grandparents, and it's about private family communication, sort of your constant kitchen table conversation. And so that environment is all private and protected.
So then this will keep children from going onto other websites or speaking with their friends, and that way that'll take care of the cyberbullying.
Yeah, 100%. What we noticed is that children basically get pulled into the vortex. So they're going to places like Instagram is the best example, where it's not really age-appropriate content, and you really have no control over who's saying anything.
Right. Yeah.
Now, for young children, that for me is just sort of bizarre, because children shouldn't be in those environments like Snapchat. It's just not built for them. And so what I believe is that children should have the swimming lesson. How do we teach them what is healthy communication, healthy content, positive and healthy with us as parents before they're released to the wild? And by the time they get to the wild, they know how to navigate this, and they know what's appropriate behavior. Right now, children are entering those spaces and they're seeing everybody behave badly. If you just go on Twitter, that's probably one really good place.
Yeah,
and you go, oh my gosh, I really don't want my kids to act like this. But children model the behavior of the environment, just like our real life. And so whatever they witness, they'll act like.
Tell the parent of the child that this would be appropriate for how this works. Explain how it works. And so you download the app, and you
download the app,
and then you let your child have your phone. I don't understand that part.
Okay, so like if a child has an iPad and I have a phone, let's talk about that for a second. I, the mom, I hear about Mazu. Mazu is filtered, it's safe. I join up. I then can join with my children, my mom, my sisters, the cousins. We can all be in a group chat. I can give Peyton, my 10-year-old, on her app. She's got it on her iPad. She comes in. She sees content that is all safe and healthy for her. She doesn't get taken out of that environment. There's no advertising. And then at the same time, she can come into the group chat and say, "Hi, Grandma, look at this great picture I made." Now, when she comes there and says, "Look at this great picture," nobody's commenting on that picture that isn't someone that I've added within our family chat experience.
Okay. Now, how does she show the picture?
It's all within the system. So in the app itself, there's content that she can pull from that's been approved content.
I see.
And at the same time, if she took a picture with her iPad and said, "I want to share this," when she's in Mazu, it's shared only within who is approved.
Okay.
So I approve the friends, I approve all of the content, all of the sharing comes through me, the mom.
Is the conversation verbal or in text form?
It can be either. She can video, she can audio,
okay.
and she can also type in text. And then we call it the village. Inside the content village, so like a content feed, like Instagram, each photo and each video is tagged with a core value like hope, wisdom, truth. So Peyton, my 10-year-old, when she's looking at that, she's like, "Oh, Mom, I love this video. It inspires me," as opposed to what they currently see in our open system. Yeah.
Do you know what I see? I see this as for the grandparents as well as for the children, because grandparents don't want to look at that Snapchat stuff either.
No, they really don't. And this is what's been sort of really weird about this whole digital environment is we've joined these spaces to try to connect with our kids, not realizing that our kids actually shouldn't be there. And so my response to that was, look, digital's not going away. I have a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old. How do I make this better? And how do I actually make this consistent with who we are as a family? And my mom's 74. She's got a lot to actually share with my kids.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go to Snapchat.
Yeah, no.
But yet she's really funny.
This sounds like a really good idea. Wow, good for you.
And this is really, really marvelous because you have the doors of communication open, good communication. Larry just had a story the other day about a 12-year-old that was cyberbullied, and she hung herself because these other two 12-year-olds were bullying her on social media.
Yeah, and that, and the response to something like that, first of all, that's so tragic. The biggest thing about that for me as a parent was, it's fine that kids are going to hang out with their friends, but they also need us as a family, cousins, grandma, grandpa. We need to pull them and nurture them so that they know that who they are isn't just what some two kids are going to say in that system. But when they're in that vortex, it's so pervasive. Now, in our system, not only would that never happen because you can't actually say mean things. All of that is filtered language. You can't say you are ugly. We catch it. Now, not only do we catch it, we then know that that user is attempting to be mean or bully the child. We also know of grooming. And we send that directly to the parent and say, here you are, here's a sample of the chat. But the child never receives that. In my mind, kids today are receiving things on their little beings way too early where they really need to be nurtured in a loving environment.
Right, yeah.
So we believe in that. And then when they get there, that will seem foreign to them rather than common. Right now, in these spaces, it's common for people to be mean, even adults.
Right. For sure.
Oh, I love what you've done here. I wish they would make something like this for adults. All right, Mazu, how do we get there? What's the website?
So if you go to mazufamily.com, I really encourage all families and even adults and grandparents to go there. Read about our movement. We've removed like buttons. We've removed all of the addictive elements of social media. You can download Mazu to an iOS or Android tablet or phone, and you can really now begin to have a private family communication. And the biggest thing that I would say to all of your listeners today is that this is really about you as a family, and we need to engage and also teach in these digital environments, and Mazu is really about that.
Really good idea, and it's so refreshing to hear this. Janice Taylor, thank you for doing this and for coming on the air to share it with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And for those who need the spelling, it's M as in Mary, A, Z as in zebra, U. M-A-Z-U.
Yes.
MazuFamily.com is the website. Janice Taylor. Thank you, Janice.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Here's the tree selling event you've been waiting for, coming straight at you from Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Right now, it's a BOGO event on every tree in stock. Buy the tree of your choice at Bob's already super low price and get a second tree just like it for half price. You can get a large